Hello YouTube, this is Irish Bear 76. It has been a very eventful week in CCSVI research. Lots of good news to spread. Italy and Canada have had multi-million-dollar allocations of funds to go towards CCSVI research. A consensus conference of vascular specialists looking into venous malformations have unanimously decided from the evidence presented that CCSVI is a congenital problem, that you're born with it, which is huge at figuring out why and what. Knowing that you're born with it is going to help. It's going to help a lot. Knowing, and Zamboni over a year ago published a paper saying that he believed it to be congenital. So far so good. It's adding credibility to Zamboni. This Professor Young B. Lee from Georgetown University headed up this commission of cardio specialists from 47 countries, and they've looked at the evidence and said not only is CCSVI congenital or you're born with it, but also that it precedes MS. So it points toward causation of MS. And like Zamboni has said, and like I have firmly believed since I did my initial research, CCSVI is the pathogenesis for multiple sclerosis. That's what I think, and I'm seeing that a lot of people are starting to agree. So this is big, money going towards CCSVI research. They've actually recognized the condition, which is huge in starting the North American CCSVI Society, because you have to identify in the medical community the disease, but really before you can have a credible society to spur research and collect funds or whatever. And Joan Beal on the cheerleader, she's done just an amazing job for over a year getting this word out. And I'm fairly new to the game, but awesome. And HK in the UK has and Omario have really worked very hard in the UK getting CCSVI out. I'm going to steer away from talking too much about people because I might leave someone out, and I don't want to hurt feelings, and I have too much stuff to say. So one more person I have to mention is Eileen. Blue Rose GG has actually gotten word back from one of the big four, one of the doctors trained in Dr. Zamboni's liberation procedure, and he is very interested in what the North American CCSVI Society is all about, and he wants to be included in some of the information and where we're going and what we're figuring out. So it's slow and it's steady. We're kind of the tortoise, not the hare. But we're going to build a society that's going to one day become the authority on CCSVI research, I think, as far as getting money for research. And I think we're on our way to finding a cure for multiple sclerosis. And it's huge. It's big news. It's a very happy day. I'm very excited about it, to say the least. And I'm no expert. I'm just I'm a medical professional, but my training isn't to where I could be considered an expert in the field. But I like to think of myself as a self-taught expert in the condition that I have. And the more that I learn about MS, the more it's pointing toward the cerebrospinal venous drainage system. So this is all huge victories for Dr. Zamboni, huge victories for the truth. And I think I'll start by kind of doing an open apology. I want to apologize for some of the negative things I've said about the MS Society, because that's a political arena they're in, and I'm trying to start this not-for-profit organization. And when you have investors and you have all this money coming in, and they do good things, the MS Society. So I'm going to take it easy on them. I want us to focus on the science. Let's focus on the research and the future, and leave the past in the past. And the MS Society can't endorse every single thing that comes along that looks promising. And ultimately, they were just looking to protect us from getting fired up about something, and if it turns out to not be real, the MS Society would be left there picking up the pieces. So let's just, as a CCSVI community, let's let bygones be bygones, and let the MS Society keep doing good things for people with multiple sclerosis. And the time will come when I think they'll be allowed and able to really get behind CCSVI. And we will need them, the North American CCSVI Society, and the little ones popping up all over the place. Well, we will need to work with the MS Society. So, you know, let's all get along. So that's cool. But one of the doctors, like I said, has been in contact, and that's a huge thing. That's a huge step, you know, in starting our board of directors and getting published medical experts on it. And the other thing is I have a radio interview coming up. I'll have to look at the email here. It's a radio interview that's going to be on, okay, here it is, February 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific time in the U.S. The show's name is called Rabble Rousing, and the host John Fletcher, or Flector, I think it was Fletcher, is hosting this radio show, and I'll be talking about CCSVI and where, you know, the explosion of information we've had. But please tune in. It's going to be at kvmr.org. You can listen to it. I'll try to put a link in the sidebar. And you can call in, you know, if you want to ask me questions, and you've been waiting for me to talk to. The studio line's 530-265-9555, and that's February 10th. That's 12 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, just more exposure for CCSVI, and I want to take this opportunity to tell everybody thank you so much for getting behind me, and all these Facebook groups, and people are getting vocal and going out and demanding these tests, because there is something wrong with our venous drainage system, and it doesn't matter if we have multiple sclerosis or not. Something's not right. There's a problem with our plumbing, and by God, we want it to be identified, and if we can, get this liberation procedure to reverse it, to open those veins up. And the amount of hope and self-advocacy with MS patients that I'm seeing, it brings a tear to the eye. It really makes me proud to say I'm a member of a society of people, a family of people who suffer from multiple sclerosis, that hold each other up. Yeah, we have a few people that are negative and write rude things and act like we're ridiculous for having hope, but by and large, I mean, the huge overwhelming amount of people with MS now have hope where hope was dwindling. And it all starts with a man from Ferrara, Italy, you know, daring to go against the grain and say, you know, what if it is cardiovascular? And, you know, they were looking at cardiovascular things like, too many to mention, like FIBRIN, which thickens the blood, and how it can increase during times of stress, and FIBRIN makes the blood thicker, and which would make CCSVI would make it much worse. And they were looking at that like 20 years ago, because they were trying to link stress with FIBRIN and why people exacerbate in moments of high stress. Which is just yet one more cardiovascular link. So once Zamboni has a little bit of credibility, which he's getting, the sky's the limit. All these different independent studies are going to start, and if you're not excited, there's some part of you that's dead, that it can't be excited anymore, because this is the most exciting thing. And ultimately, the goal is to cure all of us. I mean, no matter how bad you are, stop the progression of MS, and then use stem cells or something to rebuild those axons, neurons, white matter myelin. No matter what kind of MS you have, it's going to lead to so many breakthroughs and so many demyelinating illnesses. I mean, this is huge. And thank you for being a part of it with me. Thank you. I love you guys, and continue to write me. I'll be a little busy with trying to start this society, but I'll get back to you if I can. So God bless you, and have a great, great day. And CCSVI, I think we found the answer we were looking for. Bye-bye.